Hmm.
that today I might be speaking fluently English. Today I might be conversing in Marathi. Basically, my education, my mother tongue is Kannada, but never that medium has hampered in my career. It is not the language which is going to help you in improving your professional skills, career skills, or your communication skills. National Education Policy 2020, where Professor Sahasrabudhe recently made it very clear that engineering can be learned in our own language.
First, you mentioned that you got 89 point some percentage in PCM 12. So, which year it was?
It was 1979.
So, sir, I think
77, I finished my 10th SSLC, and plus 2 I finished in 1979. And 79, I cracked. And of course, I did not attend any coaching and all. My mentor was my uncle. Went into IIT Bombay to do my masters. I chose a most not so sought after branch, transportation systems engineering, as the career option, because I had passion to teach that. There were a lot of crunches as far as transport infrastructure is concerned. I opted this branch at IIT Bombay. COVID was a blessing in disguise, where we could exploit our capabilities to the highest extent. Teaching, learning, online, many of the higher bodies were never expected. Today, they wholeheartedly allowing us to do blended learning. One program belonged to my department, MTech Structures, with Intake 26. Also, we got it done, NBA. When NIT Surathkal, RV College, or College of Engineering Pune, none of them vultured together. They had thought also going for PG accreditation. We had got done our PG accreditation in 2004.
So, you are saying all the departments in your college,
along with this
along with
structure,
PG got accredited in
PG also, 7 programs.
4 only.
Yes, 2004, for 3 years. That was the greatest learning, and that was a turning point in my entire career. Next, he said, where is opportunity of consultancy? I said, sir, today I am advising a road from Belgaum to Kolhapur as a traffic expert appointed for a National Highway Authority of India, and 2,000 kilometers of state highways have been certified by me, sitting in Belgaum. And this is my earning. Immediately, JMR offered me a very good position. You will not believe, the position was Dean New Initiatives.
Great.
It is not Dean Quality Assurance or Dean Academics, it was Dean New Initiatives. And I was offered to be with JMR Issued Technology, do MBA, NAAC, and then do consulting for their international airport and some highway. This was a turning point in my career.
How do you look at this NAAC and NAAC accreditations, or rather, why they are important? Once you will start speaking, I don't want to interrupt you, so I will ask all the questions in go. How do you look at it? Why they are important? What are your suggestions, and what things they should do? Hello, viewers, and welcome back in the next episode of the interaction. I'm extremely thrilled to acquaint you with a very humble and rooted human being, astute leader, adorable and very much disciplined administrator, and most importantly, a seasoned academician in this episode of the interactions with the academic leaders. So today we have Dr. V.V. Karjinni sir with us, and he is going to talk to us about a lot of things on employability and academics. So, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Prasanna.
And welcome to this interaction.
Thank you.
I am very much thankful towards you for giving your time and allowing us to interact with you.
It's my pleasure.
So, first of all, a very important question. Can you just tell us about your family background, your childhood and schooling?
Yeah, I am Dr. VILAS Karjinni. I am born in Kolhapur, but basically I belong to Belgavi, the border district of Karnataka. And my family background, I am the eldest amongst 4 brothers. And my father was a general manager at Belgaum District Central Cooperative Belgaum.
Great.
I did my schooling various places. as my father's job was transferable, I started my schooling from a remote place called Athani in Karnataka. And then I did my 5th to 7th standard from Ramdurg, again nearby Belgaum. And 7th, after 7th, due to my grandfather's wish, I moved to Belgavi for my high school education. And I took admission into the government Sardar's High School, Belgavi. And I am happy to share that all along the way, my school education in mother tongue, that is Kannada.
Great.
Later, after my 10th, I took admission to Kelly Society's RLS Science Institute, Belgavi, where I did my plus 1-2. And during 12th, I did well in like a middle income group family. I did score PCM almost 89.66.
Great.
And I got into engineering admission in renowned, very old institution, B.V. Bhumreddy College of Engineering and Technology, Hubballi. But for one or the other reason, first time I had moved out of family, and the same year, bit late, a new college started by our own Kelly Society in Belgaum. The then named Kelly Society's College of Engineering, Belgaum. So second year, mine was the last batch of 5 years marathon engineering course, and I took transfer to Belgavi College, and then I completed all the engineering from Kelly Society's College of Engineering and Technology, Belgavi. This is as far as my engineering graduation journey is concerned.
I would like to just interrupt you in between because I have a couple of very important questions here. First, you mentioned that you got 89 point some percentage in PCM 12th. So, which year it was?
It was 1979.
So, sir, I think
77, I finished my 10th SSLC, and plus 2 I finished in 1979. And 79, I cracked. And of course, I did not attend any coaching and all. My mentor was my uncle, eldest brother of my father, Professor Visionary Karjinni. He was my mentor for all his education.
And second, that you specifically mentioned that your entire medium for the education was Kannada. So my interest is, these days parents are rushing towards English medium schools. So would you like to comment on this part, maybe importance, or do you have any comment on this?
Definitely, when I speak to parents in parents' meet or address the budding engineers when to take admission during their induction program, I make it very clear that today I might be speaking fluently English. Today I might be conversing in Marathi. Basically, my education, my mother tongue is Kannada. But never that medium has hampered in my career.
Exactly.
This message I first give. I don't hide this fact. Then I start conversing either in Marathi with parents or English with the students.
Right.
So my message to the parents as well as students, it is not the language which is going to help you in improving your professional skills, career skills, or your communication skills.
Right.
It is the clarity of those language and the urge to learn the new languages always will add to your profile. This message I want to give.
Yes. Actually, I had this question towards the end of the section, so we'll come back to that once again.
Sure.
But now I would like to understand two very important parts from your childhood. The very first part is, when did you decide to become an engineer? Because these days when I observe these young kids, they are very unclear and they do not have a clarity about their future. So, what was the incident that has provoked you to think about your career in school, and when did you decide to become an engineer?
In fact, before my school started, first standard in Athani, my father had bought a toy wherein there were two sets. One was assembling of some vehicles and all those things, kind of thing, stuff. And another was assembling of building components. Olden days there used to be toys, and you make a home, make a roof, change the door, change the window. These kind of two toys he had gifted me. Probably those could be the inspirations that made me to extend my education into engineering.
Great.
Yeah.
So probably, as they say, very small things might have a very long-term impact in someone's life. So that's the situation. And as you are talking about your father, the next question is the same. What is the biggest life lesson that you have learned from your parents?
From my parents, the biggest lesson I learned is stick on to your culture. Whatsoever it is, don't leave your culture, number one, and stand by values. These systems are going to help you a lot in your career. So those are the things I got from my parents.
Great. And finally, to end this section, as you have rightly said sometimes before, that your language medium is not important for getting successful. So do you have any message for the school-going children and parents?
Yeah, definitely I would like to say, don't be passionate about convent education and all. Of course, one way they will help you in becoming early self-confidence things they'll bring in you. But otherwise also, if you are learning in your own mother tongue, it's always good that you continue till there is a compulsion. And these days, especially in this National Education Policy 2020, where Professor Sahasrabudhe recently made it very clear that engineering can be learned in our own languages. Already a couple of colleges in Pune have started courses in Marathi. Some colleges in Belgaum and Bangalore have started course in Kannada. And Gujarati also they have started. So nowadays, language I don't think is a barrier. Finally, there was issues when there were no learning materials were not available in our mother tongue languages. But nowadays, they have breached that barrier. So whatsoever it is, the mother tongue may not come on. Of course, if you are passionate to get into English, I don't say no. You are always welcome. And that might also accelerate your growth path.
Yes. So, sir has actually given a very interesting insight in this discussion, in this conversation, because as he rightly said, National Educational Policy has a lot of things which are going to change the entire educational system. So, definitely we will also talk to sir on this NEP as well, and we will take it forward. So, let's jump on to the next section, which is about your higher education.
Okay.
So, the very first and very interesting question is, how would you describe your college days in one word, and what is the most important thing that you miss today from your graduation days?
My college days in one word is a tough question, but they were fabulous.
Great.
We enjoyed a lot, along with learning. We made a good number of friends across India, I should say. That was my class, even though small class. We had, friends from all parts of the nation.
Great.
Because that time colleges were few. In Belgaum College was new. I had friends from Pune, Mumbai, Delhi, and all corners of nation, I should say. Now, of course, in this position, as the Executive Director at Kolhapur Institute of Technologies, College of Engineering, Autonomous Kolhapur, I'm enjoying, but you cannot enjoy the days of college.
True.
Strictness, and there are some restrictions. Definitely, I miss those
golden days.
golden days, I should say.
So, and very important question for people like me, those who are doing something in education these days, is how do you compare your graduation with the today's and current graduation ecosystem? Maybe pros and cons, both.
There's no much difference as far as learning front is concerned. Those days also we had a shortage of teachers, and knowingly or unknowingly we learned by ourselves many times, because shortage of engineers who used to take up the industries as the profession, then coming to teaching profession. These days also same. Only thing is verticals have increased. Probably that time civil, mechanical, electrical and electronics to some extent were in existence. Today we have fruit of IT, we call circuit, all those things, CSC, artificial intelligence, verticals have come. Accordingly, the demand industry growth has also changed. Today we talk of self-learning, but those days were also self-learning. We really did those days, and same trend is continued. But the scope, magnitude,
scale,
and the technological development have changed. That much I can say.
Right. But how do you look at the fundamental, the attitude of a, because see, today we have a lot of resources around us. Because even in the first section, I specifically mentioned about your percentage that you got in late 70s. Because that was very difficult. You had a lack of resources and all. But today we have everything at the fingertip. So we have YouTube and all these things. So whether the attitude to grasp whatever we have is still there, or it's vanishing with respect to them, and if vanishing, how to deal with it?
No, that attitude to grasp, understand, it is there, and today's kids are doing it. In fact, many times we feel that they are playing around on their smartphones and all. It is not so. Whatever you pose, whatever question, they try to find answer rather than going library or going to some resources where they have to spend time and all. But only thing, my advice to these kids is look for the authenticity, because always the things available on net may not be 100% correct.
True.
I don't say that 100% wrong, but sometimes. So please ensure that and get it clarified from the available print resource or electronic resource that this information is correct or not, then you move forward.
Yes.
But one good part is name a data, name a statistics, name a fact, they are available immediately. So that is good part from present generation growth point of view.
Correct. Sir, I have been interviewing many people, and I'm learning one very important quality of a leader that I observed just a few moments ago. I have seen many people complaining about this generation or the students, but every leader, academic leader like you, is always taking it in a positive way, as you did in this moment. So that's the biggest learning for me since last couple of months. We cannot keep on complaining. We have to accept the change that is happening around us. And that's a very important learning from this answer right now. So the next question is, why did you choose to be a civil engineer?
Again, my father friends, close friends, many of them, they were engineers in PWD, Public Works Department, Government of Karnataka. And in fact, in my family, I am the one who went into this engineering profession. My uncle, he said he was MSc Physics professional and a teacher by his profession. And also at the back of my father wanted me to become an engineer. And that's how I chose to be first engineer, and then I developed my passion towards civil engineering. That's how I ended up with becoming a basic civil engineer.
But still, what I feel is, sir, even if the number of branches have substantially increased these days, that these young people have a lot of choices that you never had at your times. But do you still think that the basic number of branches that we had earlier are extremely important, and just we are diverging from these core branches into others?
You put a very important question. My view would be basic branches, they're all mother of engineering.
Exactly.
You take civil engineering, you take mechanical engineering, take electrical sciences. They are all mother of domain of
all these
large engineering sciences. But in that, whatever technological development has happened, so that development is going to make applications in this domain only.
Correct.
So a person having core knowledge coupled with some software knowledge,
right,
or IT skills is going to be a more successful professional in his career.
Exactly.
You will not believe, recently I had an opportunity to interact with one of the topmost chairmen of a very good institutions in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. He gave me this input. So always I keep learning. Today we talk of artificial intelligence. Today we talk of data science, wherein all business is growing. Online transactions, online sales, digital marketing is growing. But to do this, he said, electrical engineers who have strong base of physics and mathematics are doing good amount of contribution as a teachers to teach these courses.
Right.
Wherein his observation, I agree with him. The plain computer science engineering may not do that much of contribution in the growth of these sciences. So that has to be noted very precisely, and I stand by my statement that core engineering are also important along with these developed new technologies.
Right.
Together they can do wonders in the coming days.
I resonate your thought, because even I was delivering a session in the last month, and very spontaneously I mentioned one thing, that you will see that there will be a branch in upcoming few years which is a combination of electrical, automobile and mechanical, considering the penetration of electrical vehicles in the market. So this will keep on evolving, but as you rightly mentioned, these basic branches are going to be extremely important, and they will remain timeless for upcoming time.
No, I agree with you. Earlier, we used to advocate interdisciplinary programs, interdisciplinary projects, interdisciplinary activities. Interdisciplinary means electrical guy joining hands with electronics person and doing some project.
Great.
Or computer science guy joining hands with IT department doing, or civil with an account. Today it is not the case. It is multidisciplinary advancement. Unless and until a mechanical guy comes, joins hands with civil engineering, joins hands with computer guy and electrical, then only they can do wonders.
Right.
I should say. Because whether it is automated vehicles or rockets,
right,
or satellites, all these things need multidisciplinary skills, right, rather than having skill of one particular discipline.
Right. So all the mechanical engineering students will be extremely happy, because they will get an opportunity to have interaction with CSE in electronics.
They need to be happy because if you look at KIT, we have not reduced our intake from 180. In this challenging scenario also,
great,
we have been maintaining our mechanical engineering 180.
Right.
And I am proud to say that our placements of mechanical engineering graduates in software domain is more than 50-60.
Great.
And total number has crossed 100 plus.
Yes.
So this is the validation for my statement
Right.
of multidisciplinary need.
Exactly. Perfect. So to take it forward, now I would like, because as I can see that many people are not just holding back to them with graduation. Their parents are forcing them to go for post graduation. So considering this, how do you think about your post graduation? What memories you have about your post graduation?
In fact, after civil engineering, I did not want to take up government jobs, even though they were available in abundance, in especially Maharashtra also, and Karnataka also. My father wanted, because he wanted to look me as his friends were there. But I stood by my choice. I joined, teaching after my graduation in KLE Society's College of Engineering, Belgavi. And then I decided I should continue this profession. In between, I had a chance to get into selected in government job. But I bluntly told my father that I'm not interested. Rather, I would like to go to one of the good institutions, premier institutions, to do my masters. And it rightly happened after 4 years of my teaching experience, when I made my all the fundamentals again refurbished, strong. I went into IIT Bombay, Mumbai, to do my masters. And when people were opting in civil engineering, specializations like structures, geotechnical, or water resources, I chose a most not so sought after branch, transportation systems engineering, as the career option, because I had passion to teach that particular course in my teaching career to my students. And I'd always seen one statement about United States of America. There is a statement that people in states, they said, United States did not build the roads. Roads rather built the United States of America.
Great.
So that was my understanding that today this statement is going to go popular in India.
True.
When there were a lot of crunches as far as transport infrastructure is concerned, I opted this branch at IIT Bombay, and today I am very happy that my decision was correct.
Correct. So we can say that you thought 20 years ahead of time, because
I don't say I thought, but something, whatever my readings were there, they proved to be correct when I chose my masters in IIT Bombay.
Right.
And so, later on in my career, I kept on working on the projects involving students, taking them to the sites where traffic engineering issues are there, road construction issues are there. All these things I kept on teaching the students in my career.
So just to add a fun element, so how and when the Indian roads will be in good conditions according to you?
Already they are in good condition.
They are improving.
No. If you see now, barring some interior roads, if you travel across, for example, you start from Kolhapur to Bangalore, all along the way, except 27 kilometers of double road bottleneck, we have 6-lane road. If you take other side, barring small stretch after Kolhapur, we have a beautiful 6-lane stretch till Mumbai. And many disconnected things they are doing. And Government of India has done good amount of job of connecting 8-lane from Nagpur to Mumbai. And many projects are coming nearby our place also.
Yes.
So I see there is a bright prospects
to the entire,
as far as road infrastructure, other infrastructure, transport infrastructure is concerned.
So actually a little bit divergence from the things we were discussing. Sir, these days I can hear a buzz or a criticism on the students going to MS, that the IITs, taking admission into IITs is quite difficult due to the level of difficulty of GATE and all these things. So relatively or comparatively, getting good score in GRE or TOEFL is quite easy, and this is how they go to MS. So being from an IIT background, and because you had qualified your GATE exam at that time, and how do you look at this? Means whether this is a positive sign, or how do you look at this?
No, my times were little different.
Hmm.
Present time is entirely different. The issue is awareness was very low during our time about JE, GATE, even to some extent the GRE and all. Whoever had somebody of his grandfather or father or uncle, those only used to get into this. And that time, financial support was not that liberal, what it is today. So, today choices are many. I don't say that a guy leaving IIT is going MS. No. The person who has interest to do masters, whether it is US, UK or Australia, he is going. A person who is brilliant wants to do his masters in premier institutions. They are, by choice they are doing. Later on, some are doing, they are becoming entrepreneurs. That is how they have floated all these companies, startups. Some are going abroad and taking their careers. And all these things are part of the game. And we should not say this has happened, brain drain is happening. No, it is not so. No. These guys who are going abroad, becoming CEO in MNCs, are bringing laurels to our own country.
Yes.
We should admit that. Whether it is Satya Nadella or Sundar Pichai, we should admit that. They are our brand ambassadors. Today, India is recognized to some extent from them also, because of them also. So I don't see any conflict in these decisions.
Whatever you want to do, you can explore.
Yes.
See, I asked this question because I wanted to bring you to this very question, that how do you look at the current higher educational system, and specifically considering the penetration of digitization of education or penetration of foreign universities coming into India. And I remember you had delivered I think session on this particular topic as well.
Yeah. Digitization has helped education sector in many ways. On the contrary, this digitization has helped country also to grow much faster than what it was growing.
Right.
Any projects these days, coupled with software programming knowledge, electronics knowledge, lot of transformation is coming. Now, looking into the education, I should say, people curse COVID, but I say COVID was a blessing in disguise, where we could exploit our capabilities to the highest extent.
Right.
Okay, teaching, learning, online, many of the higher bodies were never expected. Today, they wholeheartedly allowing us to do blended learning, even online distance learning, which is talk of the town in Canada and US way back, 20-25 years back. That is now coming to India,
right?
Which we should appreciate. Otherwise, it would have taken another 10 years to come.
True.
When I had been to Canada on behalf of government of Maharashtra delegation, when I was in KIT only, I was the principal, accompanied this delegation. We visited Seneca College in Canada. In 2010, I am talking. 2010, October, Seneca had 3 lakhs plus registration, online learning, and those graduates were very well accepted by Fortune 500 companies.
Great.
That means they were not just making money, and Seneca College was not an university. It is not an university. It is a college. But it had enrollments to the tune of 3 lakhs plus. And it used to produce high quality professionals who are wholeheartedly accepted by many of the MNCs, not only in Canada, but also in neighboring years. That I had seen. And we were discussing that, and today it's happening. So after a gap of almost a decade, I should say, it's happening.
So I agree with you. COVID has actually expedited the progress into education. It has forced us to accept the digital education. So that's very true. So way forward, do you see any changes in the structure of this on this particular post graduation and anything?
There is, because exactly under new education policy, many reforms are being put in place, and today ODL sector, online distance learning, whatever was there, it was only limited to university learning.
Right.
Universities were empowered to offer those courses. Today it is not the scenario. If you see the UGC's recent draft guideline, autonomous colleges will be empowered to float their own programs on online distance learning program, provided they should have that particular capacity and the faculty to develop those teaching learning material. And I'll tell you, under our Erasmus Plus project, European Union project it is, we have set up entire studio where we can develop our own content, which can be given to any of the students on online mode. If student wants to get certification for that, he has to apply for that. Great. Otherwise, our objective is to give free knowledge. If he wants certification, to get him employed in some of these sectors, he has to appear for the examination and get certification. That evaluation process we are going to put in place.
Great, sir. Great. So I'm happy to hear this from you, because being into the sector, I feel there will be a lot of opportunities ahead. So that's what conclusion I can take from your side. So now let's jump to the next section, and where we would be talking about your career journey. And I think you have mentioned in the previous discussion that you were extremely passionate to become a teacher. Rather, in spite of your father's wish, you had decided in your pursuit to be a teacher. So I would like to know more about that.
Yeah, in fact, after my graduation, I joined as lecturer in civil department of KL College, Belgavi, and then after 4 years, I took admission in IIT Bombay, Mumbai. That too in a very mid-acre program, transportation systems engineering. Then I went back, started my career journey. I was elevated as assistant professor there in 1992, the same department. Then 1996, I was asked by the management to take the lead as the head of the department.
Great.
This happened when there were a couple of professors, senior to me, much senior to me, were there, but somehow I do not know. We had organized some of the events in the college, academic as well as co-curricular activities, that may have inspired the management to test on me. They shouldered me I should say, first leadership assignment and made me the head of department. That was a great challenge to me, because at least 2-3 my teachers, they had to report to me, who had taught me. But I took everyone along with me and took them in my confidence and started my journey. And it came that the then principal asked us to do PhD. Then we said, already we are married and we are blessed with a baby daughter also, elder daughter. So it is very difficult to do PhD, leaving family and without salary and all.
True.
But KLA Society was so generous. Immediately they made a policy. They asked us to ensure admission in some of the good universities, and they wanted us to sponsor with full scholarship.
Great.
That was great support given by the parent organization KLA Society, and I jumped into registration for PhD. I went to Indore, talked to my supervisor, Professor O.P. Bhatia, who is an authority in my field. Immediately accepted me as the candidate. Not only that, my better half, Dr. Kalpana, she is from pharmacy field. She was also lecturer in the same KLE Society's College of Pharmacy. So I requested her principal to give her only leave that she'll join me for her PhD program in the same institution where we had identified a supervisor. Immediately, the principal also said yes.
Great.
That's how I took my better half, Dr. Kalpana, also to Indore and enrolled for our PhD program in 1998 precisely.
Great.
As a full-time scholar. And that was a good decision. I feel that I did those days. A lot of challenges were there. Kid was very small, going to first standard. But somehow, 4 years I spent in Indore and got my PhD awarded from Rajiv Gandhi Technological University, Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh, in the year 2004.
Great.
This was the highest education journey, I should say.
Yes.
Then after I was again put on the HOD ship, and soon after coming back, again I was given a challenging task of centrally coordinating National Board of Accreditation process for the KLE College.
In 2004 only?
In 2002 only. Two only.
Great.
It was not only I should do for civil department. It was the entire college programs. We had around 7-8 programs running in that college, and I was made the leader for pulling along all these programs for MBA. I took that assignment also. We took time, systematically we planned the things, and we achieved 7 programs MBA accreditation in 2004.
Great.
Plus point in that, I will tell, one program belonged to my department, MTech structures with intake 26, also we got it done, MBA, when NIT Surathkal, RV College or College of Engineering Pune, none of them merged together. They had thought also going for PG accreditation. We had got done our PG accreditation in 2004.
So you are saying all the departments in your college,
along with the structure,
PG
also 7 programs.
4 only.
Yes, 2004 for 3 years. That was the greatest learning I got, and that was a turning point in my entire career. Next activities.
Right. So I was supposed to go to this question maybe later, but I will pick that up because it is extremely important. Because sir, sometimes we even don't realize that we are a good leader. But as you said, your college management actually saw some spark. Probably they might have seen your team building skills, spirit and all, and they gave you an opportunity to take a charge as a HOD, right? But what was the moment in your life when you realized that yes, I am a leader? Because unless you are not going to accept, or if I talk about me, I should be convinced that I am a leader. Then and then only I can lead. So what was that realization, or what was the moment that realized you that you are a leader?
Then they gave us this responsibility as head of department. our department laboratories were in very, I should not say bad shape, but they were not up to my satisfaction. I'll give you one example. One of the menial staff, peons, used to take a weighing balance of 5 kg from one lab to another lab. Whenever laboratory work used to happen, it's simple. Then, but we were good at consulting, consultancy material testing. We used to earn 50,000 per annum those days, and that was a great
Yes.
happening, I should say.
Yes.
Then I made a request to my management and principal. See, out of this 50%, 60% goes to management. I request you to plow back this 60% to my department.
Right.
So in that, I'll become self-sustainable and I'll get equipment added up, sophisticated, and get those things calibrated.
Right.
So that I can grow this consultancy business. They immediately made a governing council resolution and said, go ahead. It was 1996, I believe. By that time, I left the department as a principal to another college in 2008. My consultancy revenue had jumped from 50,000 to 30 to 40 lakhs in small place like Belgaum. We used to earn 30 to 40 lakhs, and our peons used to say that almost every 6 months they used to earn more than 1 month's salary. Then they used to get bonus income, 2 bonuses in 1 year span.
Got it.
And that kind of decisions made me to think differently and grow the institution as well as the department and get the confidence of your own colleagues.
Right.
So this is the one achievement. Also, this brought a lot of laurels to our MBA process also. With this very particular policy, flowing back the earning, the chairman said, this model even do not exist in IITs. That was the thing where I could get my 2 departments accreditation, civil, undergraduate program as well as postgraduate structures program.
Great.
In all 7 programs, we got accreditation. And that learning helped me to grow in my profession. And
that's phenomenal, because that's what I said, sir. Probably you had that vision of thinking 10 years or 20 years ahead. That is the reason you were able to handle all these things in a very different or innovative way. So let's get back to the career journey wala points. And I have a very interesting question, because for a teacher, his students are extremely important. So how do you think about, or what do you think about the relation between a teacher and a student? And most importantly, as we have spoken about digital education a few minutes back, how do you look at these relation in this digital education platform?
students are many a times inspiration to me. And in fact, I remember 2 of my students. They were good at studies. They were from mediocre family, and they wanted to pursue masters. And they had, normal GATE score. They even wanted to go to IIT, but they would not have got. But I gave them an opportunity. When I went for PhD, I called them because there were PG programs in my same specialization, and then they joined. They joined their masters, and we together lived, and then we presented papers in international conferences out of their undergraduate studies and postgraduate studies, and at least one has got very good MNC appointment in UK. Today he is in UK. One has become a great engineer in PW department. Another is serving in Deloitte. These are civil engineers, I am telling you, who did their masters and started developing their career. I always look students not as students, as friends. Not very friendly, but friends, so that they should have confidence in me. They should listen to me, and they should try to learn and understand and take it forward after they move out of the college. That kind of
relationship
I normally possess with my students.
Okay. And how we would be able to manage this this kind of relation in digital mode? Any views on this?
Those were the days when I had to take help of another student to start my email ID on Yahoo. It was again 1998 today, I believe, when net was just big name, and I, being a civil engineer, I had not seen a computer during my graduation day.
Right.
I was opened to computing technology directly in IIT Bombay, and we had to learn by ourselves with the help of again students. Same thing happened. But digitization is going to rule the world. That we had seen the moment I opened the email account. Emails were there in IIT Bombay also, but they were all limited to students' community communications. You did not have general
open
access, and search engines were not that robust. But the moment I joined this email communication, I started communicating with my friend in US. We got connected. Some students abroad, we got connected. I realized this is going to change the scenario of entire technology, business model, be it a finance sector, be it a insurance sector, be it any sector that is going to do a lot of revolution. So I got into it, learned by myself many things, and same students also doing now. So we are seeing the change. Today we don't use papers for communication.
Yes.
Digital communication we use. And I keep myself updating, whatsoever it is. Initially, I may have certain hitches, but try, learn, and ultimately you have to live, you have to grow, means you have to be with the flow. So I am doing exactly the same.
True.
So digital revolution will be there as part of everyone's career, whether you are old, young, or whether you are energetic, non-energetic. If you accept it, you are going to excel in your career. Changes and all.
True. So, as you have actually spoken about your experience with the opportunity that was offered to you for this accreditation part, I would like to take the same thread ahead, and I would like to understand you that definitely you might have taken some deliberate efforts to become a good leader to one of the great leaders. So can you just share that efforts with all my audience? Because see, everyone wants to be a leader, but they never work on themselves. So I would like to know what you have done.
Till 2005, I was head of department, accomplished my PhD, was awarded, and accomplished my MBA assignments and all. Somehow this message went to a good corporate in Bangalore, GMR, you must have heard. GMR Infrastructure, today they own Shamshabad Airport and Delhi Airport. Their domain is my specialization, that is transportation, as well as GMR is Gandhi Mallikarjun Rao, who is a basically first generation entrepreneur, mechanical engineer. He is from Rajam near Visakhapatnam, 100 kilometers from Visakhapatnam. In his native, he has a fantastic 150 acres campus, an institution called GMR Institute of Technology. And they desperately wanted a guy to mentor them for NBA NAAC accreditations. And they had sent me a message. Then I went to Bangalore to their corporate office, including GMR, CEO, Professor Raghunathan, then experts from Andhra University and HR people. They interacted with me. It was not an interview, it was an interaction. Then in discussion I said I am good at consultancy. I do consultancy in transportation. Immediately the former vice chancellor, that time he was professor from Andhra University, GMR's classmate, he said, where is opportunity of consultancy in transportation? I said, sir, today I am advising a road from Belgaum to Kolhapur as a traffic expert appointed for National Highway Authorities of India, and 2,000 kilometers of state highways have been certified by me.
Great.
Sitting in Belgaum. And this is my earning, he said. Immediately, GMR offered me a very good position. You will not believe, the position was Dean New Initiatives.
Great.
It is not Dean Quality Assurance or Dean Academics, it was Dean New Initiatives. And I was given offer to be with GMR Institute of Technology, do MBA, NAAC, and then do consulting for their international airport and some highway projects. This was a turning point in my career. Because so far I was doing teaching in a traditional system of KLE society, where I did not have exposure to the corporate culture. And this very offer I accepted, and even though it was quite far off from Belgaum, I accepted it as a challenge and went there right from scratch. I got their MBA done of all the 5 programs. NAAC A grade, I got it done. And I learned a lot. And best part in my career is I was invited by IIT Guwahati in a workshop to deliver a talk on airport infrastructure, especially the Hyderabad International Airport case study they wanted. Everything was supplied to me by GMR Group. And I am happy that against all odds, because IIT events, they do not come down to NIT also to get a resource person. Rather, they look for another IIT or industry. But probably I represented GMR industry and got into and presented whole case study of Shamshabad International Airport, Rajiv Gandhi International Airport to the audience. Audience were all over India in IIT Guwahati. That was a good opportunity I had in 2007. So this is how I transformed myself from basic teaching as well as consulting, and then maybe next step to go for next level of leadership qualities I inculcated.
No, when I'm talking to you at this moment, from the beginning, I can clearly sense that every time when you have got an opportunity to learn something or probably to go an extra mile, you have taken that because you traveled all along from Belgaum to Indore for your PhD. You went to into a college which is typically into of having a corporate culture. So that's a very important thing. Every time accepting the challenge and going at par to this thing. That's a very important learning I can take from this discussion today. So can you tell us 5 important attributes a teacher must have?
Yeah. Minimum 5 one should have. They are like this. One thing, you should be serious in your technical domain. You should have thorough knowledge about the thing what you are teaching the students. Second thing is you should keep updating yourself. Story might be old, but what new thing has happened, at least that if you take to students, then they admire you a lot. Otherwise, whole thing is available in the book, and if you are teaching the same thing, they will not respect you.
Right.
Rather, whatever is there in the present scenario, that if you share at the end of your lecture, then he finds it more interesting, and he'll be more attentive in your class. Third quality is you should listen to everyone, whether it is student or your own colleague. You should have and try to understand and try to resolve the issues to the maximum extent. Fourth quality is you should accept the technology as and when it changes. Otherwise, you will be obsolete in your career. You cannot say that I am civil engineer, I don't know programming. If need comes, you should also know how to code prepare your presentation, make it more animated, make it more interesting, rather than using your OHP, old OHP or something like that. Fifth quality is get connected with industries. Even though basically you might be a teacher, but more you get connected with industry, more knowledge updation happens, then your confidence level increases, and industry starts looking with different angle to you, and wholeheartedly they approach you when they find some problems in their processes. This is what I've seen in my career.
Right.
So one teacher should not remain as teacher, rather he should become one-stop shop for all, whether it is a student or it is a parent or it is an industry who recruits your student.
Great. So just to take it forward, as you rightly said, you have to be connected to industry even if you are a teacher. So I have observed and I have seen that you have a very strong and professional, as well as I can say very sound network in the whole nation. So what's the secret of that? Probably you mentioned that when you were in graduation, you had a mixed class from the and students were from the whole nation. Probably that may be the impact, or maybe IIT. So what's the secret, and how we should learn networking from you?
This importance of networking I very much learned during my early days of engineering. I said I got my seat into Boom Reddy. So I had a friend circle. Then I moved next year to KL. Here I had a complex heterogeneous group of 120 students in 3 branches only. But it was a single class. So that time I started realizing rather move with the guy who is from outside, understand his culture, understand his background, understand his capabilities. That will help us to enhance our knowledge base.
Right.
Otherwise, you will remain a bookish. So probably this kind of opportunity I had during early days. Same thing. I went to Bombay. I got into networking of Bombay colleges. They were a handful, like Sardar Patel College, VJTI. But I had friends in those colleges.
Right.
Then when I went to Indore, I had my own network of people, teachers belong to other departments, become good friends. And as I was organizing conferences and seminars, I used to call personally and invite the speakers, invite the participants. And this is when we did in 2002 Belgaum. It was sponsored by industry, sponsored by AICT, sponsored by Ministry of Environment and Forest, wherein we had garnered 150 delegates all over from India. Delhi people were there, Indore people were there, Kolkata people were there, and of course local Maharashtra and Karnataka. So that kind of those experiences made me to realize you should have many contacts. One or the other day they are going to help you in your profession. That's exactly the same thing happened, and that I am continuing even today also.
Great, sir. It means whenever you have got an opportunity to connect with someone, you have converted into a golden chance. So that's what I can sense. Sir, I'm not able to control myself from asking you these questions about NBA and NAAC accreditation, because as you know, I'm going to interview around 50 academicians, and probably all the other who are not going to. If I'm not going to reach everyone, at least every other is going to watch your interview, or everyone
definitely.
They are going to watch each other's interview because they are going to see what's happening there. So I would really ask you for, on behalf of themselves, because this is extremely important, how do you look at this NBA and NAAC accreditations, or rather why they are important, and let's talk about that. What suggestions you have about that? Because once you will start speaking, I don't want to interrupt you, so I will ask all the questions in the go. How do you look at it? Why they are important? What are your suggestions, and what things they should do?
Okay, I'll take it in 2 parts.
Okay.
How they help me personally, and in turn, how they help the institution. Let us look from two angles. Already I have said, because of MBA in KLE Belagavi, I could go into GMR.
Right.
Did their MBA in NAAC, but I developed myself also at national level. Then once I, it was 3 years assignment. I had not resigned and not. I was on deputation. I came back, asked by management to start a new engineering college in Chikkodi. So I am the founder principal of KLE Chikkodi College, and that is next level of leadership I exhibited. In 1 year, I did 100% admissions. Again, the result is of networking and good friends in Kolhapur. Of course, when I completed 1 year, I had an opportunity to come to Kolhapur region to head the principalship of Dadasaheb Kore Institute of Engineering and Technology.
Great.
Vananagar, where I had not got selected as assistant professor in early days. I had given interview soon after my MTech from IIT Bombay. Even though there were vacancies, but inside candidates, like all managements do, they preferred inside candidates, and I was not selected. But that did not dishearten me. Rather, I joined the same institution as principal in 2009. Of course, thereafter, I got the opportunity to serve Sanjay Gowda at the campus as the director for 3 years. Soon after that, I took up the principal's position in KIT Kolhapur. But when I came to KIT Kolhapur, even though by that time KIT Kolhapur had finished 2 phases of accreditation, 4 branches in 2004, when we did in KLE, 4 branches here, and 8 branches in 2008, there was slight disconnect of this culture when I joined in 2014. Then I thought my NAAC experience, which I had initiated in GMR, would come to my help rather than going transformed MBA process. MBA by that time had transformed under outcome-based education, which was more challenging, which needed many pre-qualifications and all. So I requested management to put it on hold for 1 or 2 years and then go for NAAC accreditation, which would become a win-win situation for every one of us.
Right.
First question was, which engineering college has NAAC accreditation in this region? I said, nobody. Only Shivaji University has A+ grade, but not any engineering college. Only I know one in Pune is in NAAC. Only one, whole of the Maharashtra. Then with the due diligence, they said go. Then that challenge I took and I started from scratch.
In 2014.
2014, when I started, none of us were aware of this NAAC process because it is institution level. So we studied well. I got into touch with the many experts, got into touch with many advisors from NAAC, learned by ourselves and packaged and presented in 2015. We got thumping A grade with CGPA 3.12, second in Maharashtra.
Great.
So that boosted the morale of my team members, all HODs, deans and all. And I also changed some of the organization structure. I brought it in many leaders in the form of deans, associate deans and all. And then we went for permanent affiliation of the institution. KIT. KIT became permanent affiliation. Then of course we become autonomous. These are all not by virtue of earlier MBAs. These are the outcomes of NAAC A grade what we got in 2015.
Right.
And my NAAC, which was there for 5 years, by virtue of becoming autonomous in 2017-18, our NAAC validation got extended till validity of autonomous. That is, this year end, our NAAC first cycle is getting over.
Great.
So, NAAC and NBA, one, they have helped me in becoming, leader in education sector from HOD to dean dean to the principal, principal to director, and then to some extent vice chancellor also.
Yes, yes.
I should
Yes.
say, last year I gave interview for the vice chancellor position in one of the oldest institutions, JSS Science and Technology, University Mysuru, where I got selected through selection committee, and I served as the vice chancellor. I initiated NAAC process there, which was mandatory from UGC and the Supreme Court. But due to my personal reasons and the request from the KIT management, I had to relocate to again KIT as the executive director, where I am working on some other verticals to grow this institution and unlock some of the values what KIT has today.
Right.
So NBA and NAAC, as you rightly said, and later on we did MBA for KIT also, and it is now part and parcel of every department.
Right.
And now also, today morning, I had one workshop where we have NAAC and NEP 2020, how it's going to impact the education sector in the coming days. See, NAAC is also transforming. Institutional level accreditation, so they are doing, but they are now going for program accreditation, like NBA. Today, I proudly said 180 intake in mechanical. If I want to sustain 180 intake, sustain the admissions and employability skills and employment and the placements, I need to go for NAAC accreditation of mechanical departments in days to come. Because that time they give A plus for departments. So definitely my stakeholder will look into that and put his word.
Right.
So this is my next agenda
to execute.
So this is what things are transforming, and we are understanding them, learning them, and we are trying ourselves to get equipped to face those challenges also.
So the 5 qualities that you told about a teacher, that we have to keep on updating. So when it comes to NBA and NAAC, we have to keep on
updating.
So any suggestion to fellow academicians for these successful processes?
These processes, many of the times, they are seen as duplicating of process, duplicating of data, duplicating of many things. There's a feeling, but convince them that these are the processes which are going to take your institution to a greater level. If you are plain vanilla, you will not be counted amongst the best in the country. And your domain is not the region, not the state, not even nation, I say. Your domain is now globe.
True.
Once all these initiatives of National Education Policy 2020 are put in place, that time, your ODL repository should be ready. Your academic credit bank system should be in place.
Right.
So rather than your student leaving in between after diploma, going elsewhere, abroad, rather you should get yourself equipped that you should be able to attract those guys from US and UK and enroll for further education. That challenge you have to be ready. And that is my piece of advice to all the academic leaders.
Yes. So, sir, I would like to go ahead with the second last section, where I will be asking you some employability related questions. So, the very first question is, how do you look at the employability and its impact on the current ecosystem? And second, I still remember that Adobe has given a package of 41 lakh to a student from KIT. So, we would like to know more about it.
See, students, whether he is in tier 1 city, tier 2, they are all smart guys. Only thing, they need certain kind of mentoring, certain kind of grooming, and confidence level building. If you do this, always their technicals we have seen they are sound.
Right.
But where they lack is some of their soft skills approaches, and then some aptitude skills,
Right.
which normally they ignore. So once we focus on these as an institution, definitely employability level of an institution will increase. As a NAAC assessor, chairman of NAAC committee, I have moved around almost 30 plus colleges in and around in South India and Bhubaneswar and all those places. Some of the institutions are focusing more on this training and placement activity, and similar thing we are also doing in KIT. Our training and placement officer is not the one who is driving. We have supported him with associate deans. We have supported him a team for training, a team for corporate relations. Two different teams drawn from each department. So they are doing wonderful jobs.
Yes.
Okay. Then, of course, we have enough resources as faculty to teach the technicals, but to empower them, teach them corporate challenges, corporate culture, business etiquettes, we are outsourcing some training agencies also. Always, if it is in-house, that do not give the correct outputs.
Correct.
This is what I have seen in many of the institutions. And now I am trying to replicate the same structure in KIT also.
Right.
In the days to come, I might induct a couple of associate deans to support the main dean, who can take along every department, because we are a growing institution and it's going to be a great challenge to us also to fulfill the aspirations and dreams of the parents and the students.
Right.
So this is what we are working on. And it is not only for circuit branches. We are working equally hard for core branches also, like mechanical, civil, aeronautical engineering, biotechnical engineering. So that is our thing. And second thing what we have done, to understand the gap between academia and everybody says there is a gap. But somebody has to be there. This is the crux.
Yes.
For that, we have inducted 15 to 20 industry people on our industry advisory panel.
Great.
Each department has industry advisory panel, which supplements our BOS, supplements our academic standing committee, supplements our academic council. So these people give inputs, enrichment of curriculum, enrichment on teaching learning process, use of technology. So that has helped us, and that is the need of the hour.
Right.
And this is how we are taking forward. And that could be, I presume, that the outcome of getting that 41 lakhs for that girl child in Adobe, as well as 18 plus lakh in BNY to another girl student, which we are very much proud of.
Yes. Just to interrupt here, sir, this is extremely important because I always say this, that this placement in Adobe with this much of package has actually created a belief system in rural colleges that yes, even we can do this.
Yes.
So I think KIT has become the path breaker or probably the leader in this activity, but that has given a very positive vibe to everyone that we can do it. So that's extremely important.
That is what we have seen. Initial days, about 4 years back, people, stakeholders, used to look at Pune, look at Mumbai or some metro for their wards to put in so that they get into the good companies and good corporates and all. But now we have proved that it is not necessary, that facilities are available here, team is available here, people are serious about this business, that we are trying to show and get the confidence level building business of our stakeholders. Finally, I would like to give a message to academicians. As a teacher should never retire in his life, he should keep on updating and keep on sharing his learnings with his students as well as the industry people who are in need of his services. Number two, the students, you have sky as the limit in your growth in the coming days, and you should encash each and every opportunity coming on your way with the help of your mentors and become successful either professionals or entrepreneurs and bring good name to your parents as well as to your country, Mother India. And industry is a important entity in this particular domain where industry cannot grow without the support of academics, and academics do not update without the contribution and interaction from industry. So my sincere request is to industrialists, always please join hands with the good institutions and share your knowledge, propose your problems to the experts, and mutually all of us can grow. With this, before concluding, I would like to thank my family, my better half, Mrs. Kalpana, my two lovely daughters, Mrs. Janvi and Miss Sindhuja, who are the backbone for my successful journey so far. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you so much.
I would like to take this opportunity to share my experiences with O2 breathing, Miraj, where we have been interacting with O2 breathing since many years, and their services for our own students' growth is the testimony that many of our students of all branches, not only one computer science university, but all branches, either they are excelling in MS education abroad or they are cracking GATE and doing masters from premier institutions, or they are put in better places in corporates like Adani, TCS, Tata Technologies, Capgemini, and Tata Power, to name a few. So I wholeheartedly thank and wish all the great to O2 Breathing Associates.
Thank you.
Thank you.